If you're, especially for those meeting, if you want to see where this event is, if you go to pace.edu/elab, and the easiest way to find it is just upcoming events, and you could see the Entrepreneurial Implementation. This will be the first year we've done it as a full course. The third year we're doing it, and of course the judging panel is sitting here. In front of you is listed here if you'd like that contact, and again, most of the students are here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay, almost all are here. So I think everybody knows me, but I'll start as normal. I'm Bruce Backenheimer. I'm a clinical professor of management and the director of the Entrepreneurship Lab. And this class, this is obviously the students now, but an overview for everyone. Management 320 is called Entrepreneurial Implementation. And what makes this class, I believe, so special and unique is that over the course of the semester, which is relatively short, only 14 weeks, the students had to implement some actual part of the business in the market and get some form of validation. So it's not, in a typical class, you might do some market research, maybe prepare a pitch, give a pitch, do a business plan. This is about getting out of the classroom and doing something real, original in the real market. And 14 weeks is not a lot of time to do that. And the idea is not that they implemented a full and complete business. Some aspect of the business was implemented. So there's going to be 9 presentations, and each of them will be about 10 minutes. Students, just for your guidelines, we have a countdown timer with 10 minutes. If you go over, it's fine. If you only use 6 or 7, it's fine. It's just to give you some guideline, because sometimes when you're up speaking, all time stops and suddenly you're the most important person in the world. At least at academic conferences that happens. So, the students are going to present 3 distinct things in their presentation. The first is just an overview of their concept. It's not necessarily to pitch it or to sell it. You just say, this was my concept. The second thing is, this is how I went about implementing it in the market. And the third thing is, this is the validation I received from the actual market, whether positive or negative. For the students, the 4 judges, you've seen the backgrounds, and at the end, they might ask a question or 2 after each presentation. There's not enough time for everyone to ask a question on everyone. But at the end, they'll briefly introduce themselves and give some general feedback, general critique. They might want to say something positive or negative about a couple. Obviously, each judge won't have time to comment on each of the presentations. But if I will briefly let you know, Mike is a PACE alum who has done a lot of really interesting work in the real estate market. Asher is also a PACE alum who you've met. For the rest of you, we visited Asher Levine's studio. Asher, after graduating, went directly into fashion and design. He has his own studio line, and he's done work for clients such as will.i.am, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, etc. Ted Levine is not a PACE alum, but an honorary PACE alum in my name. He is a Cornell alum, but as some of you may know, Ted and Pat Levine, his wife, set up a fund for the Ted and Pat Levine Entrepreneurial Implementation Fund to test a proof of concept. And we happen to have 2 of the 3 winners in the class. And David is also a PACE alum, a Dyson alum who was studying biomedicine, thought about a career in medicine and research, but is working at a really interesting company. If you are thinking of starting your company in reality, you should definitely get David's card afterwards. Who does some very creative funding, strategic funding source for businesses, and has been an active alum. So with that, let me just, before we go to the first presentation, we'll go in alphabetical order. Are there any questions, comments, last minute fears from either the, yep?
Did you say the time was only 10 minutes?
No, that's just up there as a guideline for you. If you only use 6 or 7, it's fine. If you go over, it's fine.
10 to 15? I
It
thought
is.
was good. Oh, okay. So it doesn't
You're
matter.
fine if you go over, this is just to give you a general guideline.
Okay.
Like, once 10 minutes are up, Shrikant can reset it. But it's just to give you a guideline for how you're talking. I would have liked to use a count up timer starting at 0, but it just doesn't have that feature. So we just picked 10 as a kind of probably an average number.
Isn't that when the music starts playing and they pull?
That's in the pitch contest. It's a very strict, and then for them, we have the bell, but not for this class. Anybody else? Okay,